Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex from Diablo 3 Strategies HD, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Barbarian solo Inferno build. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and say is my primary skill that I use is Frenzy with the sidearm. I use sidearm because it increases your DPS because you have a 25% chance to throw the piercing axe, and none of these other ones are really that good. You really want sidearm. It's probably the best one out of all of them, out of all the ruins you have available for Frenzy. If you're looking at this build and you're not on Inferno, a good ability is Bash with the Clobber ruin, because instead of knocking enemies back with Bash, each hit has a 35% chance to stun the target for 1.5 seconds. So in normal and Nightmare, when you can stun like bosses and stuff like that, that's a really great ability. But if you're playing in Hell or in Inferno, you definitely want Frenzy with sidearm. That's what I always use, and that's really good. Also, another thing you can have is Cleave with broad sweep to give you the extra damage. That's another thing that you can use for Inferno for the lower axe, but usually I just stick with Frenzy with sidearm. So as my right click, I usually use either Leap, and I use Leap with Iron Impact in order to get out of situations where I'll be coming close to death. So if I run into a group, and let's say it's like it's a pack of some rares, and they have like Arcane Enchanted, and they throw down their Arcane Sentries, then you can leap out, and then you'll get 300% additional armor for 4 seconds. So that way, if you do get hit while you're leaping out or while you're going back in, you'll take a lot less damage. Another good ruin is the Death from Above. The thing about Death from Above is you land with such force that enemies have a 100% chance to be stunned for 3 seconds. Now, the thing about you can use Death from Above, and then you don't have to use Ground Stomp, because Death from Above will stun everyone, and you then pretty much have 2 abilities in one ability. You have Ground Stomp and Leap as just Leap. So you can either use Iron Impact or Death from Above. I'll go ahead and say Death from Above. But another great ability is Furious Charge with the Dreadnought, because when you use Dreadnought, it regains 8% of your maximum life for each target hit by Furious Charge, which 8% of your life is a lot, considering when you're in Inferno, you have 30,000 health or more. One of the Mystic Health Potions that just heal 12.5k really aren't doing the trick anymore. Healing up for 8% of your maximum life will do a lot more than a potion, especially because this is for each target hit. So if there's like, you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies and you Furious Charge out, you can get a ton of health back. And so that's a really good ability. Yeah, you have Dreadnought, or you can have Furious Charge with Dreadnought, that is, or Leap with Death from Above, or Leap with Iron Impact. So I'm going to say Death from Above. Now, as my one ability, I usually use, for Act 1 and Act 1 and 2, I use Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity. Now, Wrath of the Berserker is an ability that some people know is really good, and others just don't even use. It makes it to where your crit hit chances increase by 10%, attack speed by 25%, dodge chance by 20%, and movement speed by 20%. Now, all those things really don't sound that great, and it costs 50 Fury, and it has a 120-second cooldown. But when you use the Insanity Ruin, your damage is also increased by 100%, so your damage is doubled. So you use Insanity, and that'll give you double damage for those 15 seconds, which is really a lot of damage. Now, this skill is for Act 1 and 2. You really don't need a whole lot of defense. because the enemies aren't really that hard. So what I use is Earthquake with the Mountain Skull. That way the removes the Fury cost and reduces the cooldown to 105 seconds. And the thing about Earthquake is you use Wrath of the Berserker with the Insanity and it doubles your damage. Then you use Earthquake and you can deal 4,000% of damage because it deals 2,000% weapon damage as fire over 8 seconds. So if you use that and you hit like a rare pack, you get a rare pack inside that, and you're dealing 4,000% of your damage over 8 seconds, you're going to deal a lot of damage and you're going to really be able to kill them really quick. Now the next ability that I use is either Ground Stomp if I don't have Death from Above, but since I do have Death from Above, that gives you an extra slot to put something in. So I'm going to use Revenge, and obviously you have to use Provocation. This will increase the chance Revenge will become active at 30% each time you're hit, which will double the amount that you can use Revenge, and it'll really increase the effectiveness of Revenge. So you definitely want Revenge with Provocation, so put that on, definitely use that. Now as the last ability for Act 1 and 2, I use Warcry, and thing about Warcry is it depends on what you have. If you want to use Impunity, which will give you the 50% increased resistances, or you can use Hardened Wrath, which will increase the armor bonus to 40%. Now if you have high resist and lower armor, you want the extra armor, but if you have low resist and higher armor, you want this. But if you have like both around the same, you probably want Impunity. Really it's just kind of what will help you out more. I'm gonna go ahead and say Impunity. So there we go, that right there is my skills for Act 1 and 2. 3 and 4, I'll get to that in a second. So those are my skills, and my passive skills are the same for everything. Obviously you want to use Superstition. Superstition reduces all non-physical damage by 20%, and whenever you take damage from a ranged or elemental attack, you have a chance to gain 3 Fury. The Fury part's really not what's important, it's the fact that you're taking 20% less damage from all non-physical attacks. And you have a lot of resistance, and physical resist is probably one of the things that you have a lot of, so you're not going to take a lot of damage physically anyway. So this really helps out the weak parts of your build, which will be non-physical damage. So definitely want Superstition. Another thing you want is Nerves of Steel. This will increase your armor by 100% of your vitality, which will really increase your survivability in Inferno. Definitely need that. And then also you need Tough as Nails, which will increase armor by 25%, and thorn damage deal increase by 50%. Really you just want this for the increased armor by 25%. That's really great to have. So that right there is pretty much my build for Inferno Act 1 and 2. Now when you're playing in Act 3 and 4, you got to have more defense. These two offense abilities here really aren't helping out as much as some defensive abilities would. So defense abilities you're gonna want Threatening Shout with the ruins for Threatening Shout are really a lot of them none of them look that good. Like you look at this one, affected enemies also have their movement speed reduced by 30%. Yeah, this is the best one right here, Intimidate, because you can use it and then you can run away. If you get into trouble, you can run out, and they're slower than you, so they can't keep up with you, but they're not that much slower, so you have to be sure you're still able to get away good enough. Now you have Falter, which affected enemies also have their attack speed reduced by 15%. That's alright. It's not as good as Intimidate. But then you have Grim Harvest. Enemies are badly shaken and have a 15% chance to drop additional treasure. That's really not that good, not really necessary. Affected enemies are also taunted to attack you for 3 seconds. This is a solo build, so taunting isn't really going to do you anything because they're already going after you anyways. So last one is enemies are also severely demoralized. Each enemy has a 35% chance to flee for 2.5 seconds. But that one's really bad because you're a barbarian, you're a melee class. Why would you want enemies to flee from you? Because you want to be able to hit enemies. You want to be able to deal the damage. So you definitely want Intimidate. And now you have a little bit more defense because with Threatening Shot you're going to take 20% less damage. Now they also don't move. They move 30% slower. So that increases your defense by some. And then another good ability is Ignore Pain. You can use this. Increase your duration to 7 seconds. Or you can have Ignorance is Bliss, which will make it to regain 20% of all damage dealt as life while Ignore Pain is active. So you can use Ironhide or Ignorance is Bliss. And the last ability is you can have Furious Charge with Dreadnought, and you can have Leap with Death from Above. That way you can still stun, and this way you can still heal a ton with Dreadnought. And that's pretty much it, guys. So you want another good ability you can have is you can have Dreadnought, or not Dreadnought, Ground Stomp with the Wrenching Smash to get the extra range, and you can switch Leap with the Iron Impact. That way you have the extra armor, and this way you can still stun. So that right there is your Act 3 and 4. For the most part, you do have a couple other options that you can switch around. But for the most part, that's your build for Act 3 and 4 Inferno. It's a really good build, really effective. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe, and peace out, guys.